Hey everybody, Dave Clark, aka the Pattern Guy. It's been a little bit, got a lot of stuff going on right now. One of the jobs we're going to do today is a motorcycle part for one of the YouTube viewers. He's rebuilding a motorcycle and he can't find a part. A buddy has found one, but he can't sell it. So he's letting this guy borrow it so I can replicate it for him. What we're going to do is, it's going to be a lathe job, okay? There's one of two ways that we can do this job, all right? I could make a, we want to put this on a match plate. One of the ways we could do it is I could turn the outside and then I could turn it inside. That would probably be the easiest. However, what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this exactly like it is right here. We're going to take it down to the foundry, make a couple samples off of it to make sure it's exactly what he wants first. Okay, so like I said, there's two ways you could go around doing this, all right? The easier way would be just to make the two halves. That way it's, you know, bigger chunks of wood. It'll be a little bit more stable. Just that this, you know, making this, it's pretty thin wall, so it's going to be real fun turning. But it's going to show, you know, I'll be able to show you guys you know, a few little tricks on how to do things like this. It's not as bad as you think. All right, so what we're going to do first, we're going to glue some stock up. Now, one of the things, you know, I used to sit there and say before every video, you know, there's safety things. Watch what I do. If you don't like what I do and how I do it, don't do it. Okay, like I said, I've been doing this a long time. Okay, I feel very safe doing things certain ways where, you know, other people might not think it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue some stock up, and the safety part of this is, please do not, and I've seen this numerous times, I'm going to glue some segments up and we're going to let it set overnight. All right, I've seen so many guys in shops, they'll glue something up, let it set for 4 hours, go over on the lathe, start turning, and boom, blows up right in their face. Okay, thank God nobody got hurt ever bad, but you know, it's always a thing, you know, it'll come back and hit you. All right, so we don't want that. Always leave it for the next day to turn if you're gluing something up. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll get going first. I'm going to make this out of mahogany. I'm going to do like a one-off kind of deal. We're making a model basically. We probably use pine, you know, that would be the sensible thing because it's, you know, down and dirty, bing, bang, boom. But the mahogany, it's just a little bit more, it's better to get the finer shapes and that, and there's like less tear out. With the pine, you can get some tear out and that. I just want to get over on the lathe, turn this out and do it, okay? And then what we're going to do, I'll show you how to do, we're going to make some splashes. All right, so I don't know if I have radius gauges this big, so what we're going to do is we're just going to make some wooden splashes, we call them, off of here. And the way to do it real easy is, this is an aluminum piece. What we're going to do is put a little wax on there. We're going to cut something close, squish some Bondo. That way it's going to be perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we'll go over this down when we start turning. Okay, this is already where it's at, so we're gonna measure everything standard. We're gonna use a 3/16 inch shrink roll because it's aluminum. Okay, don't forget that. If I remember, I'll try to get Joe to put up the formula. If you guys don't have shrink rules, there's a formula that you use to convert it into standard. Okay, so let me get some stock out and I'll show you how to get going on this. Another real quick thing too. I said that I got another camera. I have yet to get a microphone for it and that, so give me a couple videos to get used to using a couple cameras and that. You know, hopefully we'll get some stuff, try to get some close-ups with this as much as we can. All right, so hang tight and I'll show you how to lay this out. Okay guys, going over to the sander. sanded these straight. We're gonna put these things together, and then I'm gonna use a rubber band. I think these came off of a toy. You can get these online. This is the best thing to be able to glue these things up with. All right, so let me try to get you down there, and I'll show you this. Okay, so I'm gonna just put some glue on here, and like I said, I use plenty of glue. And like I said, a lot of people are, I use too much, or I'd rather use a little bit extra. Excuse me. All right, and then what I'm doing, rubbing these, that's called ringing, okay? Gotta ring those up, we're squishing the glue together. Okay, now here's the trick, see if you can get these things on without crapping anything up here. All right, the other thing I could probably do is use my pinch dogs. I think I've shown you those before. These, like I said, such a small project. Plus, the other thing, if I use the pinch dogs, I'm gonna leave holes in there. And since this is like a smaller, finer pattern, I don't want the holes in it. So I mean, I can fill them up with Bondo, not a big deal, but I'd just rather not do it that way. So there's it. Okay, so I got 2 pieces. Hopefully I only need 1 of these pieces. If not, we'll use the other 2. So I'm gonna let these things glue up overnight. And then tomorrow, it's running a little late. I might not get to the splashes today. Excuse me. Put you back up here. Okay, it's running a little late today, so I think I'm going to cut it short here in the morning. I'll show you how to do the splashes. I might be able to, I just gotta go do an errand, so I might come back out here. It's no big of a deal. And then we'll get going. The reason I gotta do the splashes, like I said here, all right, so there's radius. There's 2 radiuses. All right, I can get my dimensions outside, inside, I get the dimensions. And this is where I said it's important. You gotta measure the standard, and then use a shrink roll. This thing's over 4 inches, okay? Excuse me, battling the cold here. This is over 4 inches. So if I just do the standard to standard, or make a casting off of this, which I think somebody tried to make, because it looks like there's like graphite on this thing. If I do that, it's gonna shrink a 1/16 of an inch, all right? Because that's 4 inches, there's 3 4s in 12 inches, right? 4, 8, 12. Right, so if you divide that up, it's 3, there's 3/16 shrinkage per foot in aluminum. 3/16, there's 3 units of this. So that's gonna shrink a whole 1/16 of an inch on the outside. All right, yeah, 1/16 of an inch, yeah, it's pretty big, okay? Especially on a smaller part like this, all right? So that's why we gotta use shrinkage for this, all right? So I'll either see you in a little bit, or I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll do some splashes. Okay guys, continuing on with the motorcycle part over at the lathe today. Here is a faceplate. We usually have a metal faceplate of some kind that fits the screw on your lathe. Okay, most of them are different than that. On top of that, 9 times out of 10, it's kind of hard for you to mount whatever you're doing right onto the metal faceplate. It's not impossible. It's just, you know, a lot of times it's just not feasible. All right, so what we're going to do, we set up a sacrificial faceplate made out of a piece of wood. This particular piece of wood, I already had downstairs in the basement. I glue up a bunch of stuff as I'm gluing things up. This one actually is a segmented one. I want to turn the outside, so that's going to be a little bit better for me than just to, you know, just mount a regular chunk of wood on here, which you can do. It's not a big deal. It's just I already had this. Instead of cutting out another piece of wood from a bigger piece of wood, we already had this. It's like the perfect size, all right? So when you're doing this kind of stuff, what you want to do, I'm going to have to get this face perfectly flat, so we'll mount it in a lathe, get this perfectly flat. I got a straight edge piece of hardwood, piece of mahogany. We'll take the crayon, it'll crayon up. We'll take out the high spots. We want this thing perfectly flat when we mount our piece of mahogany to it to make our pattern. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and get this where it's got to go. I'm going to have to take it back off, mount the piece of mahogany to this, What we're going to do, we're going to do the inside first. Okay, the inside hollow part of that job. Right here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to turn this inside hollow part right here. Okay, and what we're going to do from there, once we get this shape where we need it to be, what we're end up going to do is we're going to take the whole piece off. It's going to be bigger on the outside, right? What we're going to do is we're going to take the piece of mahogany off, then I'm going to go back to the faceplate and turn a little step in it where I can fit this over, okay? And you can see how thin that is right there, right? This is exactly going to be, exactly what the pattern looks like, all right? So what I'm going to have to do is, when I put the original piece on, I'll show you. We'll screw that on, turn it. However, when we mount this way to turn the outside, I'm not going to have anywhere to screw to, okay? I mean, I might be able to screw to this with a real small screw and that, but what we're going to end up doing, we're going to just do a couple little pieces of spot glue, let it set for quite a while, and then we're going to go ahead and turn that. That does work. You are taking a chance of it flying off and that, but basically it's the only way we can do it. Like I said, we could do it two ways. We could make two pieces, but what we want to do is we want to have a sample to send to the guy that's doing this, and in doing it that way, we're not going to be able to do that, all right? So I'm just going to turn this, and if it does work out to the point where, you know, I can't do it or something, which might happen, we might have to do it the other way, okay? But I'm going to attempt to do it this way first, and, you know, we'll go from there, okay? So hang tight, I'll show you how to mount this up, or actually I'm going to turn this first, I'll show you how to do that. Like I said, I got another camera coming. I'm not quite there. I got it actually, but I just got to figure out how to set things up and all that stuff. So, all right, I'm going to get this mounted in here, and we're going to turn this flat. Okay, it's real simple. Just got the screw on here, and these are this side, the inboard. Call this inboard. Call this outboard. There's actually a screw on that side too. Inboards are usually standard, you know, left turn threads, or right turning, and then the other outside is the opposite way because you're going the same way, and when you put pressure against it, you don't want it spinning off, which it will, okay? So we're gonna get this set up, and it's been a bit since I've been on a lathe here, so everything's a little stiff and that, so, all right, I got my tool rest there, set up a little bit below center. That's the way I like to do it. A lot of guys will do a little bit above center. When I'm doing faceplate, I like to be canine center because of the thickness of the tool. I'll be down, I'll be in like the right spot. Okay, so I'm going to start out with my gouge, make a rough cut. The other thing you want to do with this too, I'll probably turn the outside too. It's pretty close. You want to try to get these your faceplate, you don't want them running wonky, you know, because it basically puts stress on the spindle in here. So you want everything running true. So I'll probably take a cut off the back side or the side of this, make sure it's true too. All right, so let's get it going. Up, I always use dark crayon. Alright, let's see where we're at. Always got to use a hardwood for this, okay? get used to when you got a mark. You can't just, you know, chisel the mark off, sand the mark off, or whatever. You gotta go a little beyond. You'll get, it's like I said, it's another thing where, you know, this is where this kind of stuff takes a little time to get used to, okay? So you can see I'm getting more, hopefully you can see I'm getting more and more purple on there, okay? So that means I'm getting close for this being flat and straight, okay? And it's actually, we're doing pretty good. For doing the inside, we'll get it close to it to be 100% perfect. The better you get it. Two, you can actually put the inside in a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, relieve that a little bit. It's going to make it easier for you. Alright, now you can see I'm not 100%. There's like little ridges, but what I'll do, this is really close. It's going to take a sanding block, and we should be where we're at, okay? Hang tight, guys. Okay, here's where the real part comes in of, you know, how to duplicate a casting, okay? So you look at this and say, where do I start taking measurements, all right? So one of the biggest things is, I showed you this a little bit before here. All right, we're just going to take this down. We want to get the height or the thickness, okay? This is a standard. Don't forget, always a standard. Measure your casting, okay? Then I got my shrink rule in my pocket, 3/16 shrink for aluminum, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this down to 1 inch thick, okay? It's the first job I'm going to do. That way that'll be 2 thickness, okay? Then the next job I'm going to do, here I made my templates, right? So here's the template for the inside. See, this is going to be the inside. All right, I got it marked. This is my center because this is 2 different radiuses, okay? So what I'm going to do is, from there, I'm going to get the dimension, this inside dimension. Okay, we'll transfer that onto that surface, and we know that this outside, right in that pocket, is going to hit in there, okay? So we'll slowly but surely start carving that out, okay? And then we'll follow the shape. If you don't get it perfect, this is different. I moved this template around, and it's kind of funky out around, you know, already. Do the best you can do, you know. I mean, that's all you can do. And, you know, he can't get them, so, you know, he's going to get what he gets. But like I said, you know, he should be, you know, this should be really good. Actually, ours might even be a little bit better. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this down to the width I need it, okay? Pretty much same thing. I just did a rough cut with my gouge. You know, that's the gouge right there. Okay, just like a regular chisel gouge. Okay, now I'm just going to take my chisel and I'm going to make this flat. Same thing as what we did with the face plate. I want this perfectly flat. Okay. Okay guys, I got this real flat. Okay, next trick I'm going to show you is, here again, you take your standard ruler. Alright, you measure it. Okay, you can take a pair of verniers, you know, depending on how accurate you want to get this. And I can tell this was done with it. Alright, so it's going to be 4 5/16. So half of that is going to be 2 5/32. All right. So what I'm going to do, take a pair of dividers. Take my pair of dividers. Okay, let's move these out of the way. I want to go to 2 5/32. Okay. Two and 5/32. Got that on here. Okay, I'm going to start the lathe up, and what I'm going to do is you'll roughly be able to see the center. Okay, this is we're going to be able to self-center these on here. Okay. Okay, nothing to it, right? I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit. Okay, so that's my inside diameter that I gotta get, okay? So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly start chiseling this out, okay? I got a smaller gouge I'm gonna start using and see what happens here. And then a lot of this is kind of like a guessing game too. You know, like I said, again, you know, you're going to get it as you go. You know, the more you do this stuff, you know, the better you're going to get at it, okay? So, I'm not even doing that the right way there. I mean, that's, let me see if I can pick you up here. Okay, this is my first try on this here. So, let's see where we're at, okay? So all you got to do is put this in here, and you can see the 2 flat spots on the ends. See, I'm about a 1/4 inch up, so that's telling me I got to drop this center part where I'm touching here another 1/4 inch. All right, so let me get to it. Okay, guys, there you go. Inside the hole. One of the bummers was, one of the things you got to watch when you screw these down to it. I did go through a little bit, but we'll fix that. Not a big deal. Okay, so I can feel a little bit of a ridge that's from that screw. So I'm going to try to sand that out a little bit more. I want to make better sandpaper here. Like I said, I use rough sandpaper a lot. Okay, that's a lot better. I don't know if you can see that fully, but it's not perfect, but it's not bad either. So that'll work. Like I said, you always want to try to get things as good as you can. This, like I said, it's a replica piece. You know, we should be good with that. I'm going to double check my inside dimension here, make sure I'm where I got to be. And we're right there, perfect. Okay, so that's good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this piece off, and then we're going to turn a little step in the face plate so it's perfectly concentric, and then I'm going to spot glue this down, let it sit for a little while, and then we're going to turn the outside. Okay, hang tight, guys. Okay, guys, next thing what I want to do, I took the piece off. All right, we want to flip it upside down like I said, okay? So what I want to do, here's the piece, right? So I got this inside diameter. I know the thickness is correct. Okay, I got this inside diameter, okay? Inside shape. Inside shape looks pretty much the same, right? Okay, so if you remember when I had this piece on, we got this inside diameter, right? I use a pair of dividers, so guess what? Keep these dividers the same. I'll be able to transfer this mark on here, and that's going to be where I want to get to, okay? Little trick. Same thing again, you're going to self-center. want to just cut this outside down about 1/32 of an inch. That way I can center that piece on there and it should be perfect. All right, let's give her a try. Okay, the reason we're only going to go a 1/32 under is because that inside's radius, right? So if I go too deep, it's not going to fit on there. You're going to hit the radius, okay? So let's see where we're at. Set that on there, and I'm not hit. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm hitting the center part in here, so I'm going to have to relieve that a little bit. Okay, let me put that in there. Oh, see, I'm big. That's big. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this down again and then get my radius again a little bit bigger. I don't know what happened there. That's pretty big too, actually. Okay, perfect. That's perfect right there. Okay, I'm going to leave this right here. I'm going to put some spot glues on. I'm going to leave it for a couple hours, and then we're going to turn the outside, okay? So another thing, what I usually try to do before I start doing things like this, especially working on machinery, is don't forget. I've been doing this for 50 years, okay? A couple times I started moving the tool rest with the machine going. I don't recommend that when you're first starting out. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a little bit more comfortable with it. So if you see me do something that's not comfortable for you, please do not do it. Biggest thing is I don't want to ever have a YouTube subscriber come up and say, hey, I was doing something the way you showed me and I cut my finger or, smash something or wreck something. Do things the way they're comfortable for you, okay? Please do, because like I said, I'm doing this for a long time. I've picked up a lot of bad habits. Still have all 10, knock on wood. Hopefully they'll stay there, okay? So anyhow, we're gonna spot glue this on, and we're gonna let it sit for a few hours. We'll come get you when we're time to turn the outside, okay? Hang tight. Okay guys, we're to the last step, all right? It's been gluing for a couple hours. Hopefully it won't fly off. It's a small piece. If it flies off, more than likely we'll be okay, okay? So next step, remember we got the width, so we're already there. That's done. We got the inside done, all right? So next we gotta do the outside. So measure the outside. Remember again, standard roll, okay? Standard roll. It's 4 5/8 diameter, okay? Just a tad under. All right, so what we're gonna do is gonna take a pair of, I set some dividers up already. I'm gonna put a mark on here just to get going, okay? Now, oops, don't do it that way. So we wanna get this to 4 5/8 here, right? So set these to 4 5/8, and it helps if we get the shrink roll. Get the shrink roll out. 4 5/8, okay? All right, so let's, I'm gonna double check this again. I was like double checking. I don't know if you guys ever used to watch This Old House, Norm Abrams, and that New Yankee Workshop, measure twice, cut once, right? So this is a tad under 4 5/8, like 4 9/16-ish. Kind of in between there, so we'll set this accordingly. That's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start out real quick. I'm going to put a mark on it just to get me, started here. All right, and then we'll start turning outside. Okay. we go. We popped it off. All right, but we can pop it back on again. Not a big deal. It's got a little overzealous there, so we'll pop this back on, let it glue up for a little bit, and then we'll get it turning again. All right, hang tight, guys. Okay, guys, we're back here again. If you remember yesterday, we had the part fly off. Didn't glue it good enough. Hopefully, I glued it good enough again. I only wanted to spot glue it. If it flies off again, we're going to just glue it all the way around, and then what I'll do is I'll dig into the faceplate because I'm at my dimension, like height-wise, remember? All right, so we can do that if we need be. You try not to do that. Try to do it as, as less work as I can. It's actually turning out to be more, really. But that's just the way things go every once in a while. So, what I'm going to do next is we already have the height, remember, the thickness, okay? So the next thing is we got this little indentation right here. I'm going to take my depth gauge here. It's just perfect size, okay, for, this piece in the middle of the measuring device here. It goes in there perfectly. I got a depth of 5/8 of an inch. 5/8 of an inch with shrink, not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this right off here. We're going to get our depth, and then we'll be able to get our radiuses, and we should be done. Now I'll do a little sanding on it. I'm going to put clear kint coat on this. Like I said, it's kind of a master. Usually you do masters in clear coat. It's not a big deal. You're doing what you want to do. But like I said, I always like it's a Freeman product now. It used to be Kent Kolenz. Kent Kolenz sold out to Freeman. Freeman's paint wasn't the best in my opinion. Kent Kolenz paint for patterns is phenomenal. So we're going to paint it with clear coat. So let me finish turning this, and then we'll put that on. We'll show you the finished product, and then we're going to take it down to the foundry tomorrow and see if we can get a couple castings off it, all right? Hang tight, guys. Okay, guys, we're going to get going. I'm just going to use my parting tool, try to get a hole in this thing, and try to get her done here. Okay, guys, I got my depth here. Now I'm getting close. I'm going to pull out my little templates here, or splashes, whatever you want to call them, and I'm going to start getting the shape going a little bit more. Okay, guys, we're pretty much to depth. I got the inside radius going. This is one of the things I keep on telling you guys. We're going to try to get down the road, make some tools. My dad bought me a Robert Sorby turning tool set. It's really nice. Didn't have a diamond point, so I actually made this out of a file when I was an apprentice. Been using it all these years. It's a real nice tool. So do some more on this thing. We'll get back with you. Okay, guys, let me pick you up and get you over here, show you what we got going here. We got to fill that little hole in, but check that out. That looks pretty darn good. Gonna do a little, there we go. See that nice and tight there? Okay, the inside one is just as good, believe me. So, alright, so from here what I'm going to do, I'm going to sand this real quick. You see me sand things. There's a hole in it if you've seen that. I'm going to put some Bondo on that real quick. We're going to sand this up, give it a coat of paint. I'll show you what I'm going to do after that. Okay, but for the most part, this is pretty much done. It's got to do some sanding. And then, like I said, we'll, it's pretty much done. It's looking good. Okay, we're going to sand her up here now. Okay guys, we're going to try to get this off. Take a nice sharp chisel, get it nice and flat. I know where all the glue marks are. What I did, I put all the spot glues right on the seam so I know where they are. Okay, so usually you do not move a chisel to you, but I got it tight in my fingers here, okay, so that should be good, okay. And just very, very lightly. You can actually take up some of the faceplate because, like I said, that faceplate's sacrificial. That's actually what I'm doing. And next time we use this faceplate, we're going to make it all nice and smooth again, okay? So that's why you can do that. That way, I don't gouge into the pattern itself, right? I just, you know, if there's any of the faceplate left on the back side of the pattern, there you go. Got her, okay? Beautiful, huh? All right, now this should be a little bit bigger. Okay, see how much bigger around that is? Get to see the outside edge. So that should shrink. And over there, so what I'm gonna do, you can see the glue spots where I spotted the glue on here. I'm gonna take a sanding block, sand that off. And then from there, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and give her a coat of clear coat, okay? And this will be done. Be ready to go down the foundry. I don't know, I think I said before I wasn't gonna take you down the foundry with this, but if I get a chance, I'll take the camera down there tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff to do down there, so I don't want to be mean. I'll try to take you down there as much as I can, but like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on down there, so you know, I just try to get some stuff done. I'll get you down there other times though too, if we don't get you down there for there. But I'm gonna put a coat of clear coat on this thing, and the pattern will be done. All right, possibly see you tomorrow. Okay guys, there you go. That's it. One coat, I'll coat the inside. I'm gonna put a couple coats on this. Let it dry. It'll dry quick. This stuff dries literally like, I mean, it's already, you know. So I'll let it set a good 10-20 minutes though. That way when I do flip it over, it'll be good. And then we'll take her down to the foundry tomorrow and, you know, see if we can make a couple castings. I want to try to make 2 sample castings for this guy and send them out, and then we'll go from there. But that's it. And you can see the segments. That's actually too like an art form too. A lot of guys now, what they're doing, a lot of turners in that, what they're doing is they're doing the geometric shapes and just different, you know, segments on top, segments, different woods. That's really cool. It's a big turning thing too. So that's the thing I'm trying to tell you. You know, allegedly, you know, pattern making is the highest industrial skill trades. From here, you know, you can do a lot of other things. You learn how to do the woodworking and that, you know, we're doing like real precise things. You know, like, you know, not to fat-headed, you know, I built my own house. I built my own cabinets, you know, and I literally went out, chopped some trees down, took them to my buddy's sawmill. We sawed them up and, you know, made my cabinets. All my trim in the house was made the same way. Cut some wood down and trees down, milled it, and that's how I got a lot of my wood inside. So my finished wood, you know. But that's it. And like I said, what we'll do tomorrow is like I said, I got a lot of stuff to do at the foundry tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to take the camera up there or not. We'll see how things go. I might just take it if I got time to show you. I will if not. So. But anyhow, if not, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, we'll come back, do a little bit of wrap up with you. I'll show you the castings and that, and then go from there. Okay guys, finishing up on that motorcycle cover. I called I was going to go down and cast this down at the foundry. I called the customer. One thing, I could have swore he said he didn't want the lettering on it, but he said he did, you know, my mistake here. So anyhow, he wanted the lettering on just as long as it was the exact same thing. So This, I think it's like a 3/8 heavy hairline. I would have had to order these, and then on top of having to order them, I would have had to order like a few dozen at a time, and they're like $1.25 a piece. So doing that, plus there's a 6 to 8 week waiting list. All right. So what I ended up doing instead, you know, he kind of wanted them where they were and all that stuff. Didn't have the camera to show you this. I'm going to show you how I did this really quick. So what I ended up doing, I put this part down on the flat surface. Okay, I greased the area up around the letters here. Okay, and then all I did was mixed up some Bondo, and I just put the Bondo on there, let it harden, and then popped it right off. Okay, and there's the imprint of the numbers or the letters. Okay, and then with doing this too, like this fit perfectly onto the new pattern. Okay, so I'm down here on the surface, so I know exactly where they were this way. So these letters here are exactly the same as what came off of the original casting. Okay. Plus, you know, we didn't have to pay for these. I didn't have to have a whole bunch of letters that, you know, hopefully I've used down the road. You know, I'm not sure if I would have or not. So anyhow, that's this. I do got to go take this down the foundry. If I get a chance, I'll take the camera. It's not looking like I'm going to have a chance to take the camera. However, he wants several of these. So if I can't get you this time with these things, we will show you making these, or we'll show you the finished product in another video. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this one up here. You know, like I said, it's, you know, the lathe, you know, if you get into professional pattern making, you're going to need a lathe down the road. All right, so keep your eyes out. Wood lathes and metal lathes seem to keep their value kind of deal. It's rare if you find a really good deal on a lathe, you know, so they're a little bit more expensive, but like I said, that's down the road. You can do other things, you know, do things other ways without it and that. But anyhow, we'll show you some more lathe work down the road when we get it, and then like I showed you the segments, how to glue these things up and that. So like I said, if we get down to the foundry cast these, we'll show you the castings. So with that, guys, I want to thank all the subscribers out there. If you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate it. Give me the thumbs up, that helps me out. We're getting close to 1,000 viewers or 1,000 subscribers. It'd be nice if we could get over that 1,000 mark. All right, so with that, everybody have a good one out there, and most of all, be safe.